What you have here is Bedrock Wine Company 2023 Bedrock Vineyard Heritage Bottling. This is kind of an important wine, and I'm going to tell you why. It was also just voted the number 12 wine of the year in the latest top 100 spectator list that came out like last week. And I think the reason why that is because this wine does two things. One, it has amazing pedigree. This dude's name is Morgan Twain Peterson. Sound familiar? Anybody who knows anything about wine, who's kind of my age, which is, extremely late 20s, you're gonna remember that his father was Joel Peterson. Joel Peterson basically built Ravenswood. If you remember Ravenswood, it had that great logo with the crows or the ravens, I assume they're ravens, and they made a glass pour called the Vintner's Blend, but then they made all these other really wonderful, really intense old vine, single vineyard Zinfandels. And we used to work with these very heavily when I was at Webster Wine Bar, when it was on Webster years ago. The original, okay, not whatever they're doing now. I used to work at this great wine bar called Webster Wine Bar, and we sold a fair amount of Ravenswood. Years later, Ravenswood sold to Constellation Beverage, which is a publicly traded company. So they kind of took it in a different direction, and I knew things were kind of getting fucked up when one day I was in a grocery store and I saw Vintner's Blend for $6.99 on the bottom shelf, and I was just like, holy shit, like what is going on? So anyway, Ravenswood ceased to exist, although I hear it's coming back, but this is Joel Peterson's son. And the reason why this wine is important is because not only is it made from old field blend of Zinfandel in Sonoma. These things are, sometimes 65, 75, 100 plus years old. Supposedly, it says on this bottle, this is the 136th vintage from this vineyard? What? I mean, could that even be possible that these are 136-year-old vines that they're making this wine from? And the point is that if we're not drinking this wine, these vines are getting torn up and planted to Cabernet or planted to condominiums, or they're going to build a Costco on this vineyard. So this is an important part of California wine culture, heritage. And another thing I want to say about Zinfandel, every Cabernet that you're drinking anywhere in the New World is always going to be compared back to Bordeaux. Well, how is it compared to Bordeaux? Every Pinot Noir Chardonnay that you taste in the New World is always going to be compared back to Burgundy. Every Sauvignon Blanc, every Chenin Blanc is always going to be compared back to Loire Valley. Every sparkling wine, well, how does it stack up to Champagne? Zinfandel is really uniquely American, and there is no comparison.